As we hear the sad news of the passing of some of our most beloved legends this June, we take a moment to honor their lives, celebrate their achievements, and remember the lasting impact they've left on our hearts and culture. From music and television to culinary arts and philanthropy, these remarkable individuals touched millions. This is our heartfelt tribute to the stars we lost, but we'll never forget. Born on March 21st, 1973 in Los Angeles, Ananda Lewis became more than a media personality. She became a voice for a generation. Rising to fame on BET's Teen Summit, she gave Black youth a platform to speak, heal, and be heard. Fearless, smart, and compassionate, she tackled real issues with heart and honesty. She carried that power to MTV, where she redefined celebrity interviews with purpose and integrity, always pushing for more than just soundbites. In 2001, The Ananda Lewis Show was her boldest move. A talk show rooted in truth and emotional healing. Though short-lived, it left a lasting mark. Off-screen, Ananda was just as impactful. An advocate, a mother, and a warrior. In 2020, she revealed her private battle with breast cancer to raise awareness and save lives. Even in struggle, she chose service. Ananda Lewis is a legend not because of fame, but because of impact. She made space for others. She spoke when it mattered. She listened when no one else did. This is for Ananda, a radiant light, a resilient soul, a woman who reminded us that media can do more than entertain. It can empower. Thank you, Ananda. Your voice still echoes. Your legacy lives on. Born on September 21st, 1969 in Cazenovia, New York, Ann Burrell grew up with a bold spirit and a love for food that lit her path early on. Trained at the Culinary Institute of America and refined in the kitchens of Italy, she returned to New York ready to ignite the culinary world. With fierce energy and a signature spiky blonde look, Anne became a standout chef, and later, a beloved Food Network star. From secrets of a restaurant chef to worst cooks in America, she did more than cook. She inspired. Her tough love and infectious laughter transformed kitchen disasters into confident home cooks. She showed the world that failure is just the beginning of greatness. Anne wasn't just a chef. She was a mentor, a motivator, a firecracker who made food fearless. Her legacy lives in every cook she uplifted, every dish she made unforgettable. Though the kitchen is quieter now, her impact sizzles on. Ann Burrell, bold, brilliant, and unapologetically herself. A true culinary legend. Betsy Gay, born in the golden age of Hollywood, was a young actress who found her place in the hearts of audiences through charm, talent, and timeless roles. Best known for her appearance in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Betsy captured the innocence and spirit of a bygone era. She wasn't a headline name, but she brought a radiant authenticity to the screen, making every scene she touched more human, more alive. In a time when child actors were often molded into stars, Betsy remained grounded, delivering performances full of warmth and wonder. Though her time in the spotlight was brief, her work left an imprint, etched in the memory of classic American cinema. She didn't chase fame. She helped tell stories that still echo today. As the years passed, Betsy faded from public view, but not from the hearts of those who grew up with her performances. Her legacy isn't built on quantity, but on quality, on the quiet grace of a young actress who helped bring Tom Sawyer's world to life. In remembering Betsy Gay, we honor the spirit of a performer who lived not for the spotlight, but for the story. Born on June 12, 1931, Charlie Gaddy became more than a news anchor. He became a trusted voice, a steady presence in North Carolina homes for decades. As the longtime face of WRAL-TV, Charlie brought calm clarity to chaos, heart to headlines, and integrity to every broadcast. From the 1970s through the 1990s, viewers tuned in not just for the news, but for Charlie himself. With warmth, professionalism, and unmistakable poise, he earned the respect of peers and the affection of an entire region. He wasn't just reporting history, he was part of it. Through hurricanes, elections, and moments of joy and sorrow, Charlie Gaddy stood tall, delivering the truth with compassion and credibility. Even after retiring, his legacy remained, a gold standard in journalism and a mentor to many who followed. Now, as we remember Charlie at 93, we honor a life of service, storytelling, and sincerity. A voice we trusted, a man we'll never forget. Charlie Gaddy, forever the gentleman of the news. Chris Robinson was born on November 5, 1938, in West Palm Beach, Florida. A future star with a gaze that could carry both tenderness and fire. He would go on to become a household name in daytime television, captivating millions as Dr. Rick Weber on General Hospital and later as Jason Frame on Another World. In the golden age of soap operas, Chris stood out. He brought depth to every role, grounding even the most dramatic storylines in raw human emotion. His voice was steady, his presence magnetic. He didn't just act, he connected. For decades, he was a constant in the lives of viewers, guiding them through love, loss, betrayal, and redemption. Behind the scenes, he was a professional, a mentor, and a quiet legend of the screen. Though the cameras have long since gone dark, the impact of his work remains. Chris Robinson helped define an era of storytelling, and in doing so, became part of television history. A gifted actor, a familiar face, a legacy that lives on. Chris Robinson, forever part of the story. Brian Wilson was born on June 20th, 1942 in Hawthorne, California, a boy who would one day change the sound of music forever. As the creative force behind the Beach Boys, Brian didn't just write songs. He sculpted symphonies for the soul. With classics like Surfin' USA and California Girls, he captured the spirit of youth. But it was Pet Sounds, released in 1966, that revealed his true genius. An emotional, layered, revolutionary album that influenced even the Beatles. Yet behind the music was a man struggling. Plagued by mental illness and personal demons, Brian retreated from the spotlight for decades, fighting battles few could see. But his spirit endured. In 2004, he finally completed Smile, the long-lost masterpiece that had haunted him since the 60s. Through triumph and tragedy, Brian Wilson remained a symbol of resilience. His work pushed boundaries and turned pop into art. He gave the world beauty born from pain, harmony from heartbreak. Brian Wilson isn't just a musician, he's a legend. A man whose music didn't just echo through the airwaves, it echoed through time. Gaylord Sartain was born on September 18, 1946, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a Southern original whose wit and warmth would light up screens for decades. Starting as a local TV host, Gaylord found national fame as a cast member on the hit variety show Hee Haw, where his over-the-top characters and comedic timing made him a fan favorite. But Sartain wasn't just slapstick and country gags. He became a staple of cult TV and film, known for roles in The Outsiders, Mississippi Burning, and Fried Green Tomatoes. Whether playing a sidekick, villain, or comic relief, he brought heart and humanity to every part. His face was familiar, even when his name wasn't, and his presence unforgettable. Beyond acting, Sartain was a talented illustrator and visual artist, designing album covers and capturing Southern culture with humor and insight. In every role, on canvas or screen, he honored his roots and made people smile. Gaylord Sartain is more than a character actor. He's a piece of Americana, a storyteller who made laughter easy and small moments memorable. He didn't chase stardom. He simply showed up, played his part, and left behind joy. Gary England, born June 10, 1939, in Sealing, Oklahoma, grew up under skies that could turn violent in an instant. Those skies shaped him, and one day he would help shape how millions of people survived them. As a pioneering meteorologist on Oklahoma television, Gary became more than a broadcaster. He was a guardian. He joined KWTV in 1972 and revolutionized weather reporting, becoming the first to use live radar and computer tracking to warn the public about tornadoes in real time. Calm, steady, and precise, his voice was a source of comfort during Oklahoma's darkest storms. For over 4 decades, when sirens blared and clouds churned, people turned to Gary England. His presence saved lives, educated generations, and redefined the role of a meteorologist. Retiring from daily forecasts in 2013, Gary remained a revered figure in weather science and local history. He wasn't just predicting weather, he was protecting a way of life. In every safe shelter, in every warning heard in time, his legacy endures. Gary England wasn't just a weatherman. In Oklahoma, he was and is a legend. In New York City on June 10, 1938, Harris Yulin was born, a humble beginning for a future screen icon. He grew up amidst the city's vibrant theater world, absorbing the rhythm of performance until his talents found full bloom. From those bustling streets, he stepped onto stages that tested his mettle and sharpened his craft. He burst into prominence in the 1970s and 80s, building a reputation for commanding presence. A hardened detective in gritty dramas, a calculating politician, a meticulous partner, every role bore his stamp of intensity. But it was his turn as Ramon the Importer in Scarface that etched his name into film history. A calm, menacing counterpoint in a world of chaos. On television, he was equally formidable. A recurring guest on Frasier, he brought wit and gravitas to Seattle's intellectual world. His appearances on dramas like 24, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Oz and the X-Files made him a perpetual force, capable of chill and charm in equal measure. Beyond roles, Harris was a testament to dedication. His theater roots remained strong. He returned regularly to the stage, teaching, guiding younger actors, and proving that excellence isn't just inherited, it's earned, day by day. On June 10, 2025, Harris Yulin passed away at the age of 87. He left quietly, but his presence resonates loudly. In every fleeting glance, every tense exchange, every scene he ever elevated. Harris Yulin was never merely an actor. He was an event, a study in subtle power, a veteran craftsman whose every performance reminded us. Acting is not just imitation. It is transformation. And through his legacy, he lives on. Jack Betts, born April 11, 1929 in Miami, Florida, wasn't a household name, but his face told 1,000 stories. From the dusty trails of spaghetti westerns under the name Hunt Powers to bit roles in iconic series like Frasier, Seinfeld, and Murder, she wrote. Betts quietly built a legendary career. In Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, he played a board member whose short scene added weight to a cinematic giant. But it was in westerns where his grit shined. His characters were flawed, layered, and real. He studied at the Actors Studio, committed not to fame, but to truth. His prime spanned decades, never a star on a billboard, but a cornerstone in every scene. Jack passed away in 2021 at 92, leaving behind a legacy of dedication, humility, and craft. He was a master of the in-between moments, the raised eyebrow, the silent pause. Jack Betts showed us that acting isn't always about being seen, but about making others believe. And for that, we remember him, not as a star who burned bright and vanished, but as a steady flame that lit the edges of every great story he touched. Jonathan Joss, born in San Antonio, Texas, was more than an actor. He was a voice for authenticity in an industry that too often overlooked it. Of Comanche and Apache descent, he brought indigenous identity to mainstream media with pride, purpose, and power. His most iconic role came on King of the Hill, voicing John Redcorn, a character that, in lesser hands, might have been a stereotype. But Jonathan gave him depth, pain, humor, and humanity. He didn't just play Redcorn. He lifted him, transforming a cartoon role into a cultural reflection. Beyond animation, Jonathan appeared in films like Adaptation and The Magnificent Seven, and on TV in Walker, Texas Ranger, and Parks and Recreation. But it was never just about fame. He used his platform to challenge misrepresentation, celebrate native heritage, and demand respect for his people. Jonathan Joss is a legend not just for what he voiced, but for who he gave voice to. He brought honor to every frame, every line, every role. In a world that still has far to go in representation, Jonathan walked with grace, courage, and truth. Thank you, Jonathan. Your voice still speaks, loud, proud, and enduring. Leonard Lauder was born on March 19, 1933, in New York City, the son of Estee and Joseph Lauder. What began as a family cosmetics business would become a global empire, and Leonard, the visionary heir, would be its architect. After joining Estee Lauder Companies in 1958, Leonard expanded the brand beyond imagination, transforming it into a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse while keeping its soul intact. But Leonard Lauder's legacy extends far beyond business. A Navy veteran, an art collector, and one of America's most generous philanthropists, he gave not only wealth but purpose, donating over $1 billion in Cubist art to the Metropolitan Museum and supporting Alzheimer's research with unmatched passion. Sharp, elegant, and endlessly curious, Leonard believed in beauty, in products, in people, and in ideas. He carried forward his mother's dream and shaped it with his own vision of excellence and integrity. Leonard Lauder was more than a business leader. He was a patron of the arts, a philanthropist of heart, and a symbol of timeless class. His legacy lives not just in museums or boardrooms, but in every life touched by his generosity and grace. In the heart of Yazoo City, Mississippi, on April 25, 1930, Lynn Hamilton was born into a world that had yet to recognize her brilliance. Moving to Chicago as a young girl, her spirit was forged in the rhythm of the South Side, where dreams danced between poverty and promise. It was in local theaters where Lynn first discovered the power of her voice, a voice that would one day echo across stages, screens, and hearts. Her journey began on Broadway, where she commanded attention with elegance and strength. But it was television that made her a household name. As Donna Harris on Sanford and Son, she brought grace and grounded love opposite Red Fox. Her presence was dignified, powerful, a portrayal of black womanhood rarely seen at the time. Simultaneously, as Verdi on The Waltons, she gave depth and soul to stories of resilience and pride. Over decades, Lynn shaped roles with integrity, offering not just performances, but truth. Off-screen, she was a partner in poetry, a mother, a mentor, a quiet revolutionary. On June 19, 2025, at age 95, she passed peacefully in her Chicago home, leaving behind a legacy built on respect, resilience, and art. Lynn Hamilton was more than an actress. She was a mirror to strength and softness alike. Her light endures in every scene, every smile, every soul she touched. Born in Chicago on February 21, 1946, Terry Louise Fisher first pursued justice as a law student at UCLA. She served in the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office and later became an entertainment lawyer. but it was storytelling, rooted in real-life courtroom dramas, that called her true. In 1982, she stepped into television as a writer-producer for Cagney and Lacey, bringing nuance and strength to the groundbreaking series and earning her first Emmy, a victory for smart, multi-dimensional female characters. She co-wrote reunion films in the 90s, proving her bond with the show endured. Her career reached new heights in 1986 as co-creator and supervising producer of LA Law alongside Stephen Bocco. Drawing from her legal experience, she shaped the show's moral complexity, tackling racism, sexism, polygamy, and more. The iconic Venus Butterfly episode, her own invention, earned Fisher and Bocco an Emmy for outstanding writing. Her work helped LA Law become water cooler television, dazzling audiences and critics alike. Her Emmy tally swelled in 1987, and she remained central through the show's early seasons. In 1988, a bitter contract dispute with Bocco led to her departure, a setback she courageously made public, defending her worth and paving the way for women in television. Undeterred, she co-created Hooperman, penned 2000 Malibu Road, and continued championing complex female roles. On June 10, 2025, Terry Louise Fisher passed away in Laguna Hills, California, at 79. Her life's work spanned law and television, and her legacy endures in shows that dared to explore flawed characters, bold storytelling, and empowered women. Terry Louise Fisher was more than a writer-producer. She was a creative force who reshaped TV narratives, fought for her place at the table, and inspired generations to come. Wayne Lewis, born in White Plains, New York, was more than a musician. He was the heartbeat of a generation's soundtrack. As the founding member and lead vocalist of Atlantic Starr, he blended soulful harmonies with timeless messages of love, unity, and resilience. From the late 1970s through the 1990s, Wayne helped craft hits like Always, Secret Lovers, and Touch a Four-Leaf Clover. His voice, rich with emotion, wasn't just heard, it was felt. Alongside his brother David and the rest of the group, Wayne brought romance back to rhythm and blues, all while guiding Atlantic Starr to international acclaim. But behind the stage lights was a visionary, a man who understood that music could heal, uplift, and connect hearts across generations. Wayne wasn't just singing songs, he was writing chapters in people's lives. Though quieter in recent years, his influence still echoes in every slow dance, every love story, every soul that found comfort in Atlantic Starr's sound. Wayne Lewis is a legend because he gave us music that lasts, not just in melody, but in meaning. A true star of R&B whose voice still carries. Thank you, Wayne. Your legacy will always be with us.